Welcome back to The Deep Dive. Today we are tackling a topic that's, well, it's highly personal, often misunderstood, and really critical to quality of life: navigating menopause through hormone replacement.
Yeah, it's definitely more than just a phase, isn't it? It's this fundamental shift affecting the whole body. Metabolism, bone health, mood, sleep patterns, everything.
Right.
And our goal here isn't just about managing those disruptive symptoms, but really understanding the options that let you truly thrive.
Exactly. And the treatments out there can be so confusing for, gosh, decades. The conventional wisdom, heavily pushed by marketing and medical training, really crowned the transdermal estradiol patch as the safest bet, the gold standard.
The logic was simple. It bypasses the liver.
So supposedly fewer risks.
Right. That narrative really took hold for a long time. It basically suggested anything taken orally, anything going through the digestive system and liver was inherently worse or more dangerous.
But the sources we've gathered, and this includes a lot of patient feedback plus newer research, it tells a very different story.
A really different story.
Yeah. For many women using bioidentical hormone replacement therapy, or BHRT, it turns out that oral estradiol, the pill, is not just working better than the patch, but people are calling it the comeback queen of effective treatment. It's quite a shift.
And that term bioidentical hormone replacement therapy, that's key here. We're
Yeah.
talking specifically about hormones that are, chemically identical to what your body naturally makes.
Good point.
So our mission today is really a deep dive into why low-dose oral bioidentical estradiol seems to be so effective for so many, and how the science is kind of finally catching up to what patients have been experiencing.
Okay, let's start right there with the user experience. This is section 1, the disconnect. Why is the supposed gold standard, the patch, actually failing so many people who try it?
Well, the problems seem to fall into two main camps. Practical issues, like just day-to-day annoyances, and then actual therapeutic failure, meaning it just doesn't work well enough. The practical stuff is, well, it's incredibly relatable based on the feedback. You hear things constantly like, it keeps peeling off in the shower, or the second I start sweating at the gym, it lifts.
And that peeling isn't just annoying, is it? It means the dosing goes haywire.
Exactly. You can't get hormonal balance if your delivery method is like hit or miss half the time, or if you're constantly worrying, is this thing even sticking? That adds stress.
No kidding.
And then there are the skin reactions. For people with sensitive skin, the adhesive itself, or maybe the medication, can cause these huge rashes. We saw anecdotes like, I had a rash the size of a dinner plate.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
forcing them to just stop the treatment entirely.
Yeah,
Which obviously kills quality of life right there.
totally. And even if it does stay on without a rash, the results often aren't great, right?
Yeah.
What's the main symptom people report still having?
The big one, the one that really signals failure, is the return of those awful night sweats.
Ugh, yeah.
Exactly. The real frustration comes when women are doing everything right, wearing the patch, and still waking up soaked at 3 a.m.
That's just defeating.
It is. And the core realization we pulled from the sources is this kind of stunning statement you hear versions of. I finally felt like myself again when I switched to the pill, but all my doctors told me the patch was the only safe way to go.
That really highlights the issue, doesn't it? This historical bias against oral delivery just left people suffering unnecessarily.
It did. And they were stuck just managing symptoms, not resolving them.
So this powerful feedback, this realization that the relief was there all along, but they were steered away, it's forcing a reevaluation. It's showing that actually for a lot of women, oral estradiol just plain works better.
And the science is having to catch up to that reality. Which leads us to why it works better. If oral estradiol has been, maybe, unfairly criticized.
Yeah, villainized even.
Right. We need to understand the actual benefits, both physiologically and practically.
Okay, so section 2. The advantages of oral estradiol. Our sources point to 3 core reasons why it might be this missing link for effective BHRT. Let's start with maybe the most straightforward one: predictable, simple, and reliable dosing.
This is just a huge win for actually sticking with the treatment. Think about it. Compared to managing patches, the peeling, the sticky residue, trying to remember which day to change it,
Right.
the pill is just simpler. It's one small tablet, usually same time each day. That rhythm, that consistency, is absolutely critical for stable hormone levels in your blood.
Hormones hate chaos, as you said.
They really do. They thrive on consistency, and the pill provides that very reliably. No worries about it falling off.
Which brings us nicely to the second point: better symptom relief. It's not just that oral estradiol works, but it seems to tackle a wider range of symptoms for many people compared to the patch.
Yeah, the reports are pretty consistent on this.
Mm.
Fewer hot flashes, absolutely. But we also see big improvements in areas the patch sometimes misses, like deeper, more restorative sleep.
Actually getting REM sleep.
Exactly. And also significant improvements in mucosal health.
Mm.
Things like vaginal dryness or bladder irritation often get better with the oral form.
Interesting.
It suggests that the way the body processes the pill might unlock broader benefits.
And that broader benefit seems connected to the third advantage, which is all about getting the dose just right. Flexible dosing. Patches are pretty rigid, aren't they?
Very rigid. They come in fixed doses from the manufacturer. So if you're on a patch and still having symptoms, the usual next step is just jumping to the next higher fixed dose.
But what if the right dose for you is somewhere in between?
Precisely. And that's where you get these stories, these sources describing women literally cutting patches into pieces.
Oh my God.
Or wearing multiple patches at once, like some kind of hormone patch science project, just trying to fine-tune the dose themselves.
Which sounds like a recipe for inconsistency again.
Total inconsistency. The oral pill just avoids all that guesswork. The dose can be adjusted very precisely, we call it titrated, to match your individual response and symptoms.
That's the core of personalized medicine, right? Treating the person, not just the average.
Exactly. That's true, BHRT.
Okay, so we've covered the practical side, the simplicity, the better symptom relief for many, the flexible dosing. But now we have to tackle the elephant in the room, the liver argument, that
Yeah.
whole first-pass metabolism thing.
Right, the core reason the patch became king.
Mm.
So first-pass metabolism just means when you swallow a drug, it gets absorbed from your gut, goes straight to the liver through a specific vein, the portal vein, before it circulates around the rest of your body.
And the classic fear was?
The fear was that this trip through the liver would either destroy the estrogen, making it useless, or worse, create harmful byproducts.
So how do we counter that fear, which has shaped medical advice for so long? Our sources argue pretty strongly that this process, this first-pass metabolism, isn't always a bug. Sometimes it's a feature.
That's the crucial counter-argument. Yes, oral estradiol, that's E2, goes through the liver. And yes, the liver changes it, it metabolizes it, but here's the key. It metabolizes it into other beneficial forms of estrogen, specifically estrone E1 and estriol E3.
Ah, so the liver isn't just wrecking the hormone, it's actually converting it into a more complete estrogen profile.
Exactly. When you take the pill, your body ends up with a mix of all three main estrogens, E1, E2, and E3 circulating. This actually mimics a healthier premenopausal state more closely.
Whereas the patch,
The patch, by design, bypasses the liver, so it primarily delivers just estradiol, E2, which is great, but it leaves you potentially missing out on the unique benefits of having estrone and estriol around too.
and those other estrogens, E1 and E3, they have their own jobs.
They do. For many women, having that full spectrum seems to be what finally tackles those stubborn symptoms the patch didn't fix, like maybe joint pain, mood issues, or even helping with bone health. E1 and E3 seem to have protective effects.
Wow, okay, that is a huge shift in thinking. The very process that was feared going through the liver might actually be necessary for some people to get the full benefit.
It fundamentally challenges that old assumption that bypassing the liver is always better.
But wait, to really put this fear to rest, we have to talk about safety, specifically blood clots. That was the big one, right? The cardiovascular risk associated with oral hormones.
Absolutely. That risk assessment goes back mainly to the big Women's Health Initiative study, the WHI. It linked oral hormone use to higher risks of clots and stroke.
So what's changed? What does the newer data say, especially about the bioidentical estradiol we're discussing at lower doses?
Okay, two crucial distinctions: the type of hormone and the dose. The WHI study primarily used synthetic estrogens, not bioidentical, and often at much higher doses than we typically use in modern BHRT.
Like Premarin, right, made from horse urine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Those specific synthetic compounds, when processed by the liver via first pass, do uniquely increase certain liver proteins involved in clotting factors.
I see. So it wasn't necessarily the act of going through the liver itself that was the problem?
It was more about what was going through the liver, the type of synthetic estrogen being processed.
Got it.
So the newer research we looked at, focusing on low-dose oral bioidentical estradiol, the molecule identical to what your body makes, shows something different.
Okay.
It demonstrates that, for most healthy women, taking low-dose oral bioidentical estradiol does not seem to raise that risk of blood clots significantly.
Really?
Yeah. The key finding seems to be that low-dose bioidentical estradiol doesn't have that same negative impact on those specific clotting proteins that cause the initial safety concerns with the synthetics.
Okay, that is a critical clarification. It basically removes the main medical roadblock for universally avoiding the oral route, doesn't it? Especially given all the consistency issues with the patch.
Pretty much. The current data supports the conclusion that low-dose oral bioidentical estradiol is safe for most, and as the patient reports strongly suggest, it's often therapeutically better.
So wrapping this up, what's the big takeaway for someone listening to this? It's not about throwing out the patch entirely, is it?
Not at all. The patch works great for some people. If it works for you, that's fantastic.
Right.
But the core message is really about challenging that one-size-fits-all mentality that dominated hormone therapy for way too long.
It demands a personalized approach.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Your hormone therapy needs to be carefully tailored to your unique body, your metabolism, your specific symptoms and goals, your lifestyle. Just settling for a generic approach that leaves you with rashes or inconsistent results or those dreaded night sweats. That's just not good enough anymore.
The goal of BHRT, as our sources really emphasize, isn't just getting through menopause. It's about thriving, unapologetically, feeling regulated, feeling like yourself again.
Yeah.
And sometimes achieving that means reconsidering a delivery method, like the oral pill that was maybe dismissed too quickly in the past, realizing that how your body processes it might actually unlock the benefits you need.
Understanding that your body's natural metabolism isn't always a downside. Sometimes it's a crucial part of the solution. That's powerful knowledge for advocating for yourself. You deserve options that work safely and effectively for you.
That's such an essential point. So here's a final thought to leave you with, kind of building on this whole discussion about reassessing old assumptions. If the medical community's long-held fear of first-pass metabolism, based largely on outdated studies using synthetic hormones, caused them to overlook a potentially better bioidentical option for decades, what other widely accepted medical advice, maybe something in your own health journey, might be worth taking a fresh, personalized look at?